Welcome. We are continuing with history, and this one is a history from 4. So, history from 4, and this one is the first topic, the very first topic in history. Now, in this first topic, we are going to look at the causes and the results of the First World War. Causes and the results of the First World War. So it is a wonderful topic indeed that we are going to look at, having looked at a number of issues in Form 3, but now this is the very first topic in Form 4, causes and the results of the First World War. It's a long topic indeed, but it's a very, very wonderful topic that you are going to enjoy as well. So let us be together up to the end of this topic and see what happened in this cause, in the cause and the results of the First World War. And I am your teacher, the Fat Lizard. Now, in this topic, we are going to meet a number of objectives. We'll meet a number of objectives, and the first one, we are going to explain the events that took place between 1870 and 1914 in Europe in relation to the First World War, because we are going to look at the causes and the results of the First World War. What were the events that took place between 1870 and 1914? And also, we are going to identify the major countries that were involved in the First World War. What were those countries that were involved in the First World War? We are also going to look at or explain the causes of the First World War. Apart from that, we'll also identify the highlights of the First World War. We're going to look at the highlights. What were the real things that happened in the First World War? And also, we are going to examine the factors that led to the defeat of Germany and her allies. At the end of it all, we are going to see to it that Germany was one of the countries that took part in the First World War, but Germany and her allies, they were defeated. So we are going to look at the factors. What were those factors that led to the defeat of Germany and her allies? And also, we are going to look at to assess the impact of the First World War. What were the impact of the First World War? We know each and every war has got its own impact. So basically, or else in each and every topic that we're going to look at, we're going to discuss a number of issues, but at the end of it all, we're going to look at the impact of whatever happened into the world. So here we're going to look at the impact of the First World War. Now, to begin with, let us look at the countries of Europe. The countries of Europe. So here with me is the map of Europe. So here you see a number of countries there that make up Europe. We have Portugal here, Spain, France, Switzerland. Some are small, some are big. We see Germany is here, Poland, Austria is here, and Hungary is here. There's Slovenia, Croatia, Bosnia, Herzegovina, Serbia. All these countries are there. Greece, Bulgaria, Romania, Ukraine, they are there. Russia is here. Russia, you can just see just a portion, but a bigger part is to this side, to the other side. That's where you have the bigger side. You have Finland, Sweden, Norway, Denmark, the Netherlands is here. Belgium, Luxembourg is there. France, there. And UK, United Kingdom or Britain is there. Ireland is there. So United Kingdom, take note of that. So this is the map of Europe that we are going to talk about in this topic. So let us look at the Europe events in Europe between 1870 and 1914. What were the events, as we said in the objectives, the success criteria? We have to meet, we have to understand the events by the end of this topic. So what were the events in Europe between 1870 and 1914? So the first major topic was the unification of Germany. So we're going to look at the unification of Germany that took place around 1870s. So Germany had 39 independent states. There were states about 39 that were independent there. And the most influential one was the Kingdom of Prussia. The Kingdom of Prussia was the most influential one. So in 1862, King William of Prussia, he appointed Otto von Bismarck as Chancellor or Prime Minister. So of the 39, we are saying that the most influential was the Prussia. And there, the King of Prussia, in 1862, this King William, he appointed Otto von Bismarck to be the Chancellor or the Prime Minister of Prussia. So Bismarck, he had an ambition. He had that ambition to unite all the 39 states into a powerful German empire. So you can see the ambition of Bismarck as the prime minister appointed by King William was to unite all the 39 states there. So King William, this is the picture of King William, and Otto von Bismarck, this is his picture, the people we are talking about. Now, his ambition, the ambition of Otto von Bismarck now, had opposition from France and Austria-Hungary. His ambition, the ambition of Otto von Bismarck, they met with opposition from two countries, that is France as well as Austria-Hungary. Why? Number one, because Austria-Hungary, because Germany had states Germany states were under its control. So we see to it that Austria-Hungary hated the ambition of Otto von Bismarck. The reason was that she hated that the ambition of Otto von Bismarck to unite the 39 states, it would break maybe also this Austria-Hungarian territory, because some states of the 39, some of them, they were under the control of Austria-Hungary. Then France. Why did France hate the ambition of Otto von Bismarck to unite the 39 states? It was because France felt that a united Germany would be a threat to her security. So the security of France would be at risk. So France didn't want that one to say Germany should be united, or the 39 states should form a one empire. So France did not like that one for the sake of her security. Then what happened was that Bismarck then, he had to do it by force. How did he do that? Number one, in 1866, Germany attacked and defeated Austria-Hungary in 7 Weeks' War. So in 1866, there was war between Austria and Germany won that war. It was called the 7 Weeks' War. The reason was to do by force the ambition of uniting the 39 states. And also, Germany had provoked and defeated France in 1871. So France lost two iron and coal-rich regions of Alsace and Lorraine. So it's very, very important to note that one, to say after in 1866 Germany had attacked and defeated Austria. In 1870, then Germany also attacked and defeated France, and France lost two regions that were rich in iron and coal, and those regions were Alsace and Lorraine. Then the unification of Germany was proclaimed on 18th January 1871. So on 18th January 1871, we see to it that the unification of Germany was made possible. We are saying that we're looking at the events that took place in Europe between 1870 and 1914. So the first one, we are saying the unification of Germany, which was made possible on 18th January 1871. So it was, we have seen the events towards the unification of Germany there. Now, the other issue, the other hot issue in Europe was the balance of power. The balance of power was another thing. The unification of Germany brought together the vast resources under one political control. It meant that Germany now had control of resources of all the 39 states. So it meant that economically, Germany now was becoming stable. So this made Germany to become the most economically and militarily powerful nation in mainland Europe. So you can imagine all the 39 states coming together forming an empire. It meant that they were really, it was really a very powerful empire. That's why we are saying economically and militarily Germany was powerful. So Germany was the most economically stable in mainland Europe. It was very, very powerful and very rich. So this shifted the balance of power to Germany alone. It meant that Germany now was the only country in Europe which was more stable. That is that is in mainland Europe. We are not talking of Britain here. So after France and Russia formed an alliance, the balance of power shifted from Germany. So later on, we're going to see, as we proceed with in the same topic, we're going to see that later on, there was that alliance between France and Russia. So that alliance again, it also shifted the balance of power from Germany, because power now was with France, Russia, because Germany now it was like a shifting of power to say two big countries now they have formed a union. Then things were to the side of that new alliance. Another thing, another big topic, another event in Europe between 1870 and 1914 was nationalism. Nationalism. So nationalism was another factor. So nationalism is a feeling by people to be independent from a foreign rule. Nationalism is a feeling by people to be independent from the foreign rule. That is the nationalism. So nationalism was the most important cause of conflict in the Balkan region, which was part of the Turkish Empire. So in the Balkan region, where the Balkan region is where we saw on that map, we saw Bosnia-Herzegovina, we saw Serbia, Montenegro, Greece, all that area is called the Balkan region. So nationalism, it was the major topic. It was the major conflict in that area, because all that area, all those smaller countries, they were under the Turkish Empire. They were under Turkey. So most states in the Balkans, they wanted to be independent from Turkey. So they wanted to be independent there. So due to this instability that is in the Balkan, the Turkish Empire was referred to as the sick man of Europe. So because Turkey was failing to manage its states, smaller states in the Balkans, therefore the Turkish Empire was regarded as the sick man of Europe, the sick man of Europe. So Serbia advocated for pan-Slavism, that is the coming together of all Slavs to form a strong nation. So Serbia, which was also under Turkey, then she was advocating to say, right, all the all the Slavs, not the slaves, but the Slavs, like the group of people, a tribe, just as we call the Dumbuka or the Chewa or the Yao. So he advocating all the Slavs to form a strong nation of their own to be independent from Turkey. So Pan-Slavism would also affect Austria-Hungary, which also had Slavs. Hence, she did not support the breakup of the Turkish Empire. So that's where now the conflict of interest now starts. When Serbia started to advocate for Pan-Slavism, to say all Slavs should come together and form their nation, not to be under any other rule. So therefore, we see Austria-Hungary was also to be affected by that Pan-Slavism, because in Austria-Hungary also there were also some Slavs. Therefore, they would also be claiming for that independence. Hence, Austria-Hungary did not support that idea of Pan-Slavism or the breaking up of the Turkish Empire. In other words, we are saying that Austria-Hungary was supporting Turkey to say all the states under Turkey should remain under Turkey. While she knew for sure that if that Pan-Slavism would go on, then she would be also affected. So she even took by force, that is to annex Bosnia-Herzegovina to discourage Pan-Slavism. So we see Austria-Hungary annexed Bosnia-Herzegovina. It should be around 1908. Annexed that one, Bosnia-Herzegovina, to discourage that idealism of Pan-Slavism. Russia had the largest population of Slavs, and she considered herself to be the protector of the Slavs. So in Russia also they were the Slavs. So Russia took herself to be the protector of the Slavs. She supported Serbia, therefore, in the Balkans, and she became an enemy of Austria-Hungary for that. So you can see to it that we're talking of nationalism in the Balkans. When the Balkan states wanted to be independent, that one, it provoked the interest of other bigger nations. We have seen here Austria-Hungary was also interested in the Balkans because she did not support the Pan-Slavism. And here we see Russia now. Russia supported Pan-Slavism because she considered herself to be a protector of the Slavs. Hence, because Russia and Austria-Hungary, they had different views about Slavism or independence of the Balkans. Hence, they became the enemies there. Austria-Hungary was supported by Germany because she was ruled by the Germanic dynasty. So in Austria-Hungary, the rulers there, they had the German descent. They were from Germany. They were the ones who were the rulers there. So therefore, Germany was supporting Austria-Hungary because she was taking to it that the people who are ruling Austria-Hungary are the Germans. Why should we hate Austria-Hungary? Because the rulers, the owners of Austria-Hungary and Germany, they are just the same. So for that, then, Germany supported Austria-Hungary to say, yes, Austria-Hungary is right. No breakup in the Balkans. Britain was the most powerful country in the world, and she stayed away from the affairs of the mainland Europe by following a policy which was called the splendid isolation policy. So Britain was following the splendid isolation policy because she was the most powerful country, the richest, and she was staying away. As you have seen on the map there, Britain is like an island separated from mainland Europe. So she was just concentrating on her own affairs in Europe, in Britain, and she was following the splendid isolation policy. So this allowed Germany to do whatever she wanted. So just as you have seen that we said that there was that balance of power. At first, Germany had all that power because she was economically and militarily stable after the unification of all those 39 states. So for that, then she was stable. She was somehow stable. So with that then, because Britain being the most powerful country, then Britain was not concerned with what was happening in mainland, then that one, it made Germany to do whatever she wanted. That's why she was even supporting Austria-Hungary in defiance of Russia, to say whatever Russia is saying is nothing because I am powerful. Another thing that was that took place, event took place between 1870 and 1914 was imperialism. Imperialism. So imperialism is the act of dominating other states to expand the area of influence. So in order to expand the area of influence, then you dominate others. So that's dominating, the act of dominating other states, that one is called imperialism. So imperialism became a dominant theme in Europe, in the politics of Europe. So many countries in Europe, they were fighting for dominating other states so that to expand their territories. So France turned to West Africa for her territories in order to match the economic and human resources of the new Germany after 1871. So remember 1871, France lost, 1870 France lost Alsace and Lorraine. Then later on, she turned into West Africa for territories in order to expand the economic muscles. Germany under Kaiser William II after 1880 wanted to build a worldwide territory like Britain by having overseas territory. So we see we are talking of imperialism. So whereby countries in Europe now we are starting to compete to dominate other states so that to expand their influence. So we are saying Germany under Kaiser William II, they wanted to build a worldwide territory to match that of Britain. Remember, we have just said that Britain was the most powerful and she had many, many territories worldwide. So Germany was also competing with Britain to say, right, if we can also have other territories elsewhere, just like Britain, then we'll also be very, very powerful. Imperialism nearly caused the conflict among the European powers. So you can see, as we have just said here, there was that competition. So with that, then it was like a conflict. It was really a conflict among the European powers. So the need to defend their territories increased expenditure on military building. So what happened was that even during this imperialism, when they wanted to defend their territories, which they declared to be theirs, therefore they started also to build the military. They started to build the military. Another issue was capitalism. Capitalism was another thing that also took place in between 1870 and 1914. Industrialized European nations turned regions of Africa and Asia into production of raw materials for their countries. So we see to it that the European countries now they are busy to dominate countries in Africa and Asia, whereby they were looking for the raw materials for their industrial production there. So these regions were also valuable markets for their goods which they manufactured. So after they produced in their industries, they were also selling their valuable things or their things into those areas in Africa as well as in Asia, their territories which they declared to be theirs. Another thing was, or another major event was the European domination of the world. European domination of the world. So industrialized European countries dominated Africa, Asia, as well as America. So as they were competing to produce more things in Europe, it happened that they were also competing for markets. Then they could not just have that market. Then the first thing was to dominate, just as we are talking on imperialism, to say they wanted to expand their territories or areas of influence. In that way, it meant that those areas, they also became the areas where they were selling their things, as we have said, stated on capitalism. So in such a way, we see to it that other continents were dominated by Europe. That means that industrialized, those European countries that were better off, that had industries, they were busy dominating Africa, dominating Asia, as well as America. So it meant that the world was dominated by Europe. So we see to it that was another big event between 1870 and 1914, whereby European countries, they dominated the world. By the world, we mean that they dominated the continent of Africa, they dominated Asia, they dominated America as well. And also imperial success made major powers in Europe to exercise political and economic influence over most parts of the world. So we are saying that they were superior in political as well as economic, in their economy. As a result, their influence dominated all those areas or other parts of the world. We talk of Africa as well as Asia and America. So, to this far, let us stop here. But the next period that we meet, we are going to look at the major countries. We will be looking at the major countries involved in the First World War. So, in this part, we are just concentrating on the major events towards or between 1870 and 1914, major events that took place in Europe. So it has been really a wonderful part whereby we have seen that the world now was really dominated by Europe. As a result, most of the affairs that were taking place in Europe, they were having a great impact on the world affairs. As a result, it was inevitable to have the First World War. So that's why we're going to see the major countries that were involved in the First World War. So it will be another good part to be together. So until that time, let's be together. Thank you so much.